lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Friction is heat. You know, you take an engine where the lifter goes up and down, pushes the valve up and down, it really gets hot right there. That's where oil breaks down and where we have failures. AMSOIL, on the other hand, it's a true synthetic lubricant. It's just idling right there. It doesn't even know it's being used. In other words, 300 degrees is whole hum to AMSOIL.
It's been 3 weeks since the 2015 ASRS AMSOIL Truck Series was in action, and Michael Krobach took a checkered flag at Las Vegas Speedway, and now the field arrives at the most dangerous track with regards to their championship hopes as we head to the one, the only Talladega Superspeedway, live on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me is James Kahula. Behind the scenes is our director Joe Peak, and our cameras are brought to you today by Dougie Beard. James, we all know Talladega, we all know it's unique, but what kind of race are we actually going to see play out here tonight?
Well, this track is a wild card, to put it bluntly. You're running so close to everyone here, you can't get away. Really, if someone makes a mistake, you could be, and 20 of your closest friends could also be involved in it. So this track will be, while a lot of skill is involved, and definitely like a 200 mile per hour chess match, also needs to pay to be really lucky here as well to make it to the end. This is a 2.66 mile super speedway. These trucks will be running here wide open the entire race, and you'll be using the draft a lot in order to keep up to that speed, as you will run close to 2 seconds quicker per lap in the draft. Not only 75% fuel, we think that these guys can make it just on one stop tonight, and we have a fixed setup to get the racing even closer if it wasn't already close enough here at Talladega, Samuel.
And we do have a qualifying session going on right now, a bit shorter than usual, 5 minutes, but still plenty of time for every driver to make 2 runs. And considering it's a fixed setup, the times are going to be very close. We are going to have a very odd looking grid at the start of this. Let's talk about the championship grid though. That isn't too odd looking as opposed to what it was the race before. Once again, it is the same 2 drivers heading the rest of the field. Tommy Ryan and Gary Whitson have just ran away from the rest of the pack in the points right now. But if they both have a bad race tonight, and that is certainly possible, James, that could bring a few of these other names, Michael Krobach, Ricky Hardin and Jim Fuchs, back in it.
Exactly. You don't want to count those guys out, even though the Tommy Ryan and Gary have been running up towards the front this entire chase. They could still have bad luck like these other guys have, and they could bring this championship right back into it. So definitely don't count out those 3, Ricky Hardin, Michael Krobach, and Jim Fuchs there. They are definitely still people you need to think about, and they could come in at the last minute and be people we want to talk about for this championship. But right now, Tommy Ryan and Gary Whitson, they have not been making any mistakes. They have not had any bad races. They have been getting the most out of this chase so far, and that's why we see them pulling out ahead of everybody.
May have had a slight glitch there with the drivers 6th through 10th in the standings. Those drivers actually Bryce Whitson, Ty Hester, Jeffrey Belt, Alex Bates, Dan Murray, James Kahula and Jesse Fowler round out the chase drivers. Obviously James with us here in the broadcast booth, and another driver who is no longer on the track, or at least I don't see him out there, is Jeffrey Belt. So we have 10 of our 12 chasers still out there on the track. But let's also give a shout out to one of the drivers who's not in the chase, James, and that is Justin Fuller. He has only competed in 11 out of 20 races this season, and he has worked his way up to 14th in the points. Now, if he gains one more spot to 13th in the points, that is the top driver who's not in the chase, and I believe that driver gets an award at the end of the season.
Definitely an accomplishment, especially with the races that he's run. He's only run 11 races, and we've run 20 races in this. This is almost half of the races he's run, and he's just been really dominant. Already 4 wins on the season, so he still has a chance to definitely get there for sure. And if he's able to, it would be a fantastic accomplishment for him.
Qualifying is over. There are 34 trucks who have turned laps. I believe a field usually gets capped at 30 trucks, so we'll let you know if any of these drivers we're about to list will not start. But the pole sitter is EJ O'Rourke, and lined up alongside him is going to be Brian Yatzik. Justin Fuller, we just gave him a shout out. He is going to be starting in 3rd. Ty Hester alongside him in 4th, and then Nick Cohan and Austin Missler round out the 3rd row, James.
Troy Height will be starting in 7th, and then Jesse Fowler, your winner yesterday in the ASRS Sprint Cup Series yesterday, starting outside of him in 8th. Joshua King will be starting in 9th. Brandon Jones in 10th. Tommy Ryan, your points leader currently, is in 11th, and outside of him will be Mark Allen starting in 12th.
Breaking back up into the top 5 in the points is Jim Fusi, will be starting 13th tonight, and then one of our points leaders, 2nd in the points, Gary Whitson, starting 14th. Aaron Kleinhans and Alex Bates will be behind them on the 8th row, and then on the 9th row of the grid will be Norman Pelletier and Jeffrey Gilliam.
Jody Green will be starting in 19th. Outside of him will be Alec Marshall. Benny Ellison in the 05 will be starting in 21st tonight. DJ Beverly in the 101 outside of him. Michael Krobach, our last race's winner at Vegas, will be starting in 23rd tonight. Outside of him will be Bryce Whitson. Big congratulations to Bryce Whitson, too. Just completed Ironman Louisville, 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and a 26.2 mile run. He did that all in one day. Congratulations to him. Jeff Ryan will be starting in 25th tonight, and Todd Guerin will be in 26th.
Let's round out the field here with one of the drivers we believe will be a front runner tonight as the pace car leads the field off. Dan Murray in 27th on the grid. Lined up alongside him will be Pierre-Luc Moreau. Tanner Sharp and Adam Jersky round out the top 30, and then Ricky Harding, Jonathan Cadell, Carson Orbey and Keith Jolly round out the 34 drivers in the session there. Now, several drivers have been given an EOL, end of longest line penalty, for the start of a race. Justin Fuller, EJ O'Rourke, who was meant to be the pole sitter, Alex Bates, Adam Jersky and Jonathan Cadell. And so that will actually move up Nick Cohan, who qualified in 5th place. I believe he will actually get to start on the pole position tonight.
Yeah, how about that? That's some good fortune there for Nick Cohan. Was able to push Dan Murray to the win in the Xfinity Series race a couple weeks ago. So we know that he is definitely a force to reckon with here on the super speedways. Let's see how well he does tonight.
Well, so that does stir up the qualifying order a little bit, but don't worry, because it will be all different in about 1 lap time when they come around to complete the first lap. The positions change quite quickly here at Talladega Super Speedway, and they are going their way through the 33-degree banking in turns 3 and 4 now. Let's beat a dead horse that's been beaten every time any race has ever happened at Talladega, and that is a reminder that the start-finish line is not in the centre of the tri-oval. It is actually a little bit afterwards, down the run down to turn 1, so Nick Cohan is going to have to hold the field back for a little while. The leader to every start and restart in tonight's race, as a new rule, will have to start on the inside line. That's where Nick Cohan is in the number 21 truck. He's bringing them down at 80 miles an hour, and we are getting ready for 47 laps here at Talladega Super Speedway. Green flag is out, and Nick Cohan gets a jump on the rest of the field. A bad start on the high line by Brian Yatzik.
I tell you what, even though that Nick Cohan got a good start, not ideal here at Talladega. You do not want to jump out ahead because everyone's going to have that steam coming up behind you, and they could go flying right by you if you're not careful. So, yeah, as they see, they're going to already try and take care of them here on the outside.
Yatzik is coming, pulling a 3 train on that high line, and the lead, it belongs to Nick Cohan.
Krobach is around.
What a shame for Krobach. Several other trucks have gone with him, including Dan Murray, trucks that qualified at the back of the field. Jeff Ryan is in it too, and Krobach won last race at Las Vegas. and definitely not the way he wanted to come off of that win.
Norman Pelletier was involved in that as well. Gotta love the Back to the Future livery on that car. For those that don't know, this was the day that Marty and Doc went into the future, so we are celebrating that today as well. Glad to see that out there, but man, this is something you don't want to see on the first lap of Talladega. We know that these wrecks are going to happen, but you hope that it happens not on the first lap. It really throws everyone off a rhythm, and you just want the race to develop before something like this happens.
And you see they all get checked up here on the high line, and Kobot comes down low. Beverly was the one who got into the back of him and turned him around, and consequently Beverly has a bit of damage to him now too. Tanner Sharp also got damage in that crash, and Pierre-Luc Moreau has been disqualified. Not entirely sure what that's about. We'll find out, hopefully. We're going to get a replay here from the onboard of Jonathan Cadell. And for those new to the ASRS AMSOIL Truck Series, there are no free repairs in this series. Fortunately, we didn't see any trucks smoking, so hopefully they'll all be able to come back into the race. But some drivers have probably lost their chance of winning tonight.
Yeah, and that's just here on the start. You have some people that maybe aren't thinking that people are going to be going aggressive here right off the bat, and they find out that they're in this situation, and then calamity happens.
Yeah, Pierre-Luc Moreau was the number 66 truck there. You saw slow under the apron. I don't know if maybe he'd been one of the drivers who were told that he hadn't qualified for the race and started anyways. I can tell you that we did have 33 trucks take a green flag. Carson Orbay didn't, and we have most of the drivers who were involved in the accident down in pit road getting repairs right now. Now obviously this long track means they're going to have plenty of time to get those repairs taken care of before the leaders come back around. And well, that's it. Like I say, James, a bit of an unfortunate start, but even since the drop of a green flag, the order's turned up front a little bit. It's Brian Yatzik, Ty Hester, Jesse Fowler, Nick Cohan, and Ossadin Muslin, the top 5.
Yeah, and like I said on that start, Nick Cohan got to a great start, and the other racetrack we're going to be saying, hey, great job, and this is not one of the places that you want that to happen, and they just blew by him on the outside.
Yeah, and as you saw, he kind of got caught up in the middle of the field there. And that's unfortunately where the incidents are going to take place. I mean, we say qualifying doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. As a result of you've got time to pass cars and make your way to the front of a field, but at the end of the day, if you're starting at the back of a field or you find yourself in the middle of a field and the wreck breaks out, it's going to happen in front of you. And unfortunately, a lot of those drivers just they didn't have a choice. It happened right in front of them. They had nowhere to go there.
Yeah, and while the front may be a safer place, it's not. There's not really a safe place here at Talladega. It's dangerous wherever you are in the field, and you could be involved in something, whether no matter where you're running in here. So it's definitely a chess match with a much bigger consequences.
Dan Murray has retired from the race, which was unfortunate because he is a driver we thought could have potential to win here today. It also looks like Tanner Sharp and Carson Orbay are not on track at the least. They might be down in the pits, but we'll find out as the race wears on. So hopefully we'll still have about 30 trucks racing for the lead here. And of course, 2 trucks who benefit immensely from this, or immensely from any incident that happens tonight, James, is Tommy Ryan and Gary Whitson. Because if they do get involved in a terminal wreck later in the race, they'll only fall back to about 25th or so rather than 35th, and that could be worth 10 points and keep those 2 alive in the title fight.
Oh yeah, the less damage that can be done to them, definitely the better. This is one of those tracks that again, anything can happen. And when you see that there's less positions that you could possibly lose from an accident, you have to be breathing a little bit easier, but you're still going to be on edge and trying to take care of that truck till the end.
Well, the pace car is getting ready to pull off into the pits, and Tommy Ryan and Gary Whitson, our championship contenders, will be restarting in 10th and 11th. Brian Yatzik has control of the field on the low line as mandated by iRacing and the ASRS now, and the green flag flies now and they accelerate. Unfortunately for Brian, the trucks behind him, Ty Hester on the high side and Jesse Fowler behind him, got relatively good restarts, so hopefully he won't lose out too much down the backstretch.
Oh, and we have another wreck going into turn 1. Looks like Michael Krobach was involved again.
And he is up in the wall. There's no caution flag because he's still pointing in the right direction, but bad night has gone worse for that number 7 truck, and he wants to go back to the past.
Wow, that looked like it was just a little bit of connection there on my end.
We're going to get a replay of it. I can tell you right now that Yatzik and Hester continue to run side by side for top spot. And it looked like a bit of 3 wide maybe action there as a result of a restart. And let's go back live actually, because Austin Missler just had a moment coming out of turn 4 and went down below the apron, but is able to merge back in the middle of the pack safely without losing too much time or positions, although there's a huge gap from the front of his truck to the back of Jesse Fowler's truck. So I expect Yatzik and Fowler will probably fall back a little bit going through turns 1 and 2 here, but no, it seems like they're travelling right about the same speed as Hester and Cohan down the backstretch.
Someone definitely to watch for. My personal pick for tonight will be Jesse Fowler there in that 98 Petco truck. He's won both races in the Cup Series at Talladega this year, so he knows how to get around this track. He knows how to play with the draft, and we see it as he's back up here currently fighting in 2nd and 3rd right now. He's going to be there towards the end if he's able to keep that truck clean, and look for him to be making a big splash as this race goes on.
The other driver who was involved in that incident over in turn 1 was Jeff Ryan. Both him and Michael Krobach did come into the pits. Jeff Ryan will soon be a lap truck for these guys to deal with. Krobach, however, has gone a lap down. This two tandems, I guess is the best way to say it. Two truck tandems with Brian Yatzik and Jesse Fowler on the low side, and Ty Hester and Nick Cohan on the high side. They have been running like that for a couple laps now, but this is about to get scary because we've got top line here that has to... Whoa, they get close to Jeff Ryan there. They actually make contact with Jeff Ryan, and Ryan goes into the wall, but fortunately the leaders were able to get through that unscathed. Oh, and now Ryan goes for a spin. No caution though.
Yeah, there's just really nowhere for you to go when you have a group of cars coming at you 3 wide going 200 miles an hour. I mean, Jeff did everything he could to stay up against that wall and trying to get out of it. That definitely could have been a lot worse. Very heads-up driving on everyone. Jeff wisely gets down out of the way and is going to go ahead and take it back to the garage, trying to get a little bit more repair to his truck, see if he's able to get back out there and have a little bit more speed.
Nick Cohan and Ty Hester taking a slight advantage, but they can only keep this up for so long, James, because I'm sure Nick Cohan's radiator, considering they haven't been set, which includes quite a lot of front-end grill tape, I'm sure his water temperature is going to be getting a little warm, and you can see him sticking his nose out there, and that actually costs Ty Hester the lead to Yatzik again.
Yeah, and while the tandem does not work the exact same as it did a couple of years ago, the overheating of the engine is definitely something that these drivers are going to have to be dealing with today. Those engines can definitely get very hot, and so you're definitely going to have to see them laying off to cool those engines down to make another run for it.
EJ O'Rourke, DJ...
We have, looks like Jonathan Cadell. Looks like the Geek Squad truck. We have Jody Green.
Aaron Cleanhan's Geek Squad truck was Keith Jolly that's has bought the caution now. Benny Ellison, Jonathan Cadell's engine is smoking. Todd Garrett and Adam Jersky involved in our second multi-truck incident of the night. And unfortunately, it comes only on the 9th out of 47 laps. And Darren Cleanhands is going to join that list that I was about to read off of EJ O'Rourke, DJ Beverly and Jeff Ryan, who have retired from this race, and have a feeling Jonathan Cadell might not be far behind them.
Man, Jody Green and that Grifco property management truck just had nowhere to go. But it looks like Jonathan Cadell just heading in there got a little bit of that wall, and that ruined his momentum. And they all just kind of piled in behind that. Man, a lot of really good trucks involved in that one. But this is what we see at Talladega often. One truck incident can easily become a 10 truck incident like we've just seen.
If this race keeps its yellow fever that it's had so far, James, and hopefully it doesn't, do you think the leaders might consider pitting here and making it to the end?
That would be the benefit of pitting here, I think, for a lot of these people would be that you would be able to come in for a less time on a pit stop in the future. But with the yellow fever that we've had, I don't think that there's really any benefit right now. I think you're going to be able to come in and pit here in a few laps and know for sure you can make it to the end. But I think even with all the yellows, I think that it would really be stretching it right now. And plus, these guys are known for really good long runs anyway, so I'm thinking that these drivers are still expecting that right now.
Well, we're about a quarter distance through the race, and we do have an 80-minute time limit, and we're nowhere near the 20th minute, so hopefully we should be able to go to the 47-lap total and complete this race on the amount of laps and miles that have been given to us. We will find out shortly here when we return, because pit road was open last time around and none of the front runners come in, and we will be back for the restart here momentarily at Talladega Superspeedway.
Friction is heat. You know, you take an engine where the lifter goes up and down, pushes the valve up and down, it really gets hot right there. That's where oil breaks down and where we have failures. AMSOIL, on the other hand, it's a true synthetic lubricant. It's just idling right there. It doesn't even know it's being used. In other words, 300 degrees is whole hum to AMSOIL.
Hello and welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway, where we have seen a lot of super speed today, but unfortunately we've also seen a bit of sluggishness under these yellows. A lot of aggressive racing early on, pretty much by everyone out there, James, including our championship contenders, Tommy Ryan and Gary Whitson.
I tell you what, there's a lot at risk, and these guys aren't acting like it. They are up there in the middle of it. And I guess they're not afraid of the big bad super speedway. They're not one to give one single point and a little bit of advantage to the other right now. And they're up there right in the middle, 2 and 3 wide, not phasing them at all.
And you can tell that the Ford Mustang pace car lights are off, and we will be getting set for the green flag here. Unfortunately, 2 medium-sized incidents have already taken out a few drivers. Fortunately, none of them have really been championship contenders, although a couple of them have been chase drivers. We still have 25 trucks left on the lead lap here as they come through turns 3 and 4 right now, and the leaders to the restart will once again be Ryan Yatzik and Ty Hester.
Yeah, and the name of the game these last couple of weeks have been, those 3 teams that has been Unacceptable Racing, Whitson Motorsports, and then Steel Horse Racing / Dizzy Motorsports. And so far, we're seeing those names here and there, but we do not see the dominance that we have seen the last couple of weeks as the pace car is off and we're ready to go back green.
Ryan Yatzik on the low line leads them back to the green flag, which is in the air, and he already, there's a nice hole there for Hester to go down in if he wanted it, but it looks like he's willing to stay up on the high line and try and see if he can get some help from Nick Cohan again.
Yeah, and these people are able to work well together, and you're going to need that help. And what I was saying earlier with the tandem, while it isn't as severe as it used to be, you still need that person right behind you pushing you, and that engine can definitely get hot. You can only hold that for a couple laps right now, but the other guys below you will be able to fight back just as hard, and it's not as a one-sided advantage as it used to be.
Hester and Cohan had a good run on the high line coming down the backstretch, but they broke up over turns 3 and 4, and that was going to give Yatzik the edge for now. I'm sure this isn't the last we have seen of Cohan and Hester, unless any of the drivers on the low line are able to get out in front and pull up in front of them. I have a feeling you won't see Yatzik and Fowler do that though. They have been glued to that yellow low line the whole time around. Austin Missler and Joshua King are the next 2 trucks down on the low line as they're double file right now down the back.
Yeah, and as y'all are noticing, there's a bunch of pink numbers on these trucks tonight for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Whitson Motorsports is doing something very cool where they're donating money based off of their finishing positions. Last night in the Cup Series race, I think they were able to raise $45 for breast cancer awareness. So great on them for helping out and trying to bring some awareness and help out with this horrible disease.
Ty Hester was 4th at the start-finish line last time by, but he led that time around, so he was able to gain 3 spots without us really... I mean, lead changes happen here, position changes happen here all the time, and you can only pay attention to them so much, because as soon as you realise it's happening, it happens again. And one driver trying to come up to the lead all the way from the back is Gary Whitson, using the 3rd lane to try and make spots up on that high side.
Yeah, and while the official lead changes, while we might not see that many here, that is by no means the amount of lead changes that we've had. You'll see these guys swap the lead back and forth multiple times throughout a lap, but it only counts at the start-finish line, so these guys will definitely be going back and forth. The outside line will definitely take an advantage on the straights. That inside line will definitely have an advantage in the turns, so who's going to wind up being the head guy when it comes to that line? It could be a toss-up each lap.
We're going to full Gary Whitson. You see his momentum has paused a little bit here, but that doesn't mean he's given up. We've got 31 laps left to go, so he's got plenty of time to get it done there in the number 13 truck on the high side as you see Bricewitz and his cousin there in the 00 moving in front of him as they go through turns 3 and 4, and now he goes back to being double file as here comes some trucks into the pits.
And that is the entire Unacceptable Racing crew. Oh, as Mark Allen takes a little flip there, doing his Tony Hawk impression. But that is the entire Unacceptable Racing crew. They like to do things differently than everyone else. Their pit strategies are always completely opposite of everyone else. So let's see if it can work out for them and if they're able to make this into an advantage for them.
Well, going up on your lead is definitely not going to make it an advantage, and I have a feeling Mark Allen probably just got on the brakes a little bit too much there, lit the rears up and then went up and over. His truck's not smoking, but that Bud Light number 17 truck is certainly going to have some damage to get fixed.
The benefit of them running by themselves is they know they do have the team communication where they're able to find out exactly the line they're going to run. They could run that qualifying line every single lap, and you can have that pusher behind you. When they get hot, they can just cycle to the back of the line and have the next person come up. So they don't have to worry about what the rest of the group is doing. Though we'll see if 4 cars will be fast enough to overtake an entire group. It'll definitely be interesting.
We'll also wait and see if any of the other leaders choose to come into the pits. You can see it's a bit quiet out the front here. Jim Foose has now worked his way up into 3rd position. They're double file behind him, but certainly not the triple file that we were seeing just a couple of moments ago. They're coming out of turn 4 here. Let's see if anyone else ducks below the yellow line, but it's not going to happen yet. And obviously the advantage to the drivers who have stopped, as one truck goes below the apron, that got a little bit scary there. The advantage to the drivers who have stopped is that if the caution flag did come out, these drivers, they're still on the lead lap. You don't go a lap down really at Talladega with a quick pit stop. So the drivers who have stopped will be able to stay out and get back up front, whereas these drivers, if the caution flew, who haven't stopped, would actually drop to the tail end of the lead lap.
That's true. They have a couple of advantages working towards them right now. Obviously, they think that they can make it till to the end of the race, so they wanted to come in and pit as quickly as possible. The main thing here is, are they fast enough to stay on the lead lap? And if it goes green, are they fast enough in that 4-car group in order to take on the entire pack? Are they going to come out way ahead of the pack? Are they going to stay right there with them? Are they going to be way behind? There's definitely a lot of ifs with this strategy, but trying to do something different and trying to get an advantage on the rest of the group, I don't think is a bad idea at all, as we have Jim Foose here on the outside, going to be fighting for that lead now on the outside of Brian Yatzik.
And the driver helping him to the front there is Justin Fuller, the number 51 truck, and if they clear Yatzik, they might think about going down to the low side, but unfortunately they haven't been able to clear him yet. I'm sure they'll try again down the front straight, or maybe Kim will abandon Justin. I don't think that's what's going to happen though, or maybe it is. Well, it's amazing seeing Justin Fuller actually being able to power up alongside Foose, but I think that's only temporary. I think Foose is going to have to come back up to the high side, or maybe he can get a quick time.
Yeah, and that just shows what a great restrictor plate racer Justin Fuller is able to use that side draft to try and keep his momentum up there. He was not going to be able to do that long, but the cavalry came and he got that help right there behind him. So played that to perfection, and I mean that's what you see there. You have a guy gets you up to the front. Hey, thanks. I'm going to head down to the bottom where I feel a little bit more comfortable. But he was able to get help, and then now we're going to see Justin Fuller fighting Jim Foose, the man that he was just helping a lap ago. He's going to be trying to take the lead here this lap.
And it looks like he's going to be able to succeed, although it's going to be very close. Let's see who wins this one. Yeah, it's going to be Fuller by half a truck length. That's a mile when it comes to super speedway sometimes, as they work their way by a couple of back trucks on the high side there. Crowbox Night continues to go a bit downhill. And unfortunately, the bad thing about Talladega is once you lose a draft, if you have the slightest damage and you can't keep up with the main pack, James, it's a night to forget after that.
Yeah, exactly. And all that Krobach's going to be trying to do at this point is to try and salvage as many positions as he can. You know, he still has a championship that he's fighting for. Oh, as we have some more coming in for pit stops here. Now it looks like the Whitson Motorsports gang will be coming in. I think we're starting to see a trend here with these teams.
Yeah, it's going to make the independent teams have to do some talking over the radio, I'm sure. Brian Yatzik leading them in, Gary Whitson, Austin Missler, Bryce Whitson, Michael Krobach, and now of course, as you see from Bryce Whitson there, you may have not seen actually, but he actually overshot his pit stall. Not only have you got to get your truck wound down from 180 to 60 miles an hour when you get on pit road, you've then got to try and stop it in a matter of yards from 60 to 0 miles an hour. And with these heavy weighing trucks, it's not always an easy thing to do.
Exactly, and another thing that when you pit with your teammates, you're needing everyone in that pit stop to come in and off a pit road flawlessly. Because when you screw up, you have to wait on your teammates, and if you're that guy that screws it up, well, now they're waiting on you. Otherwise, your strategy doesn't work. So you have that come in, and it has to be like clockwork, and in and out. Everything is good for all members involved.
All of a sudden, this turns into a bit of an F1 race right now because you're racing trucks who are halfway around the other side of a circuit who have yet to pit yet, and you've just got to draft and hope that once they make their pit stall, your truck is in front of theirs. So everyone trying to keep their speed up, and that's probably why you don't see a whole lot of side-by-side racing going on right now. Although you do see it going on in this lead pack here, but honestly, that's about all there is. The rest of the field is all broken up into about packs of 2 to 4 trucks, all running single file. But right now, this battle for the lead continues between Nick Cohan and Justin Fuller.
We had only one taker on pit road that time. That was Troy Height in the 182 truck. Definitely going to be a lonely pit road. You don't want to come down here alone. Hopefully he's able to find some help as he blends back up onto the speedway. You do have other groups that have come in, so hopefully he's able to blend back in.
You see the field swerving as they go down the backstretch there. Obviously they're not trying to make a move, they're just trying to keep their radiators cool. Now they're coming around to complete lap 26 here, and I have a feeling that this pack at this point, James, has just got to be trying to go as long as they can. How many laps do you think they can, how many more laps do you think they can go before they have to bring it in for fuel?
Well, it looks like they could go about 25, 26, 27 laps on a tank of fuel. So with the couple of yellows we've had, look for them to be here in the next lap or two. Now, if I'm able to go back into, I know that we're not going to be looking at the lead, but this is going to be where the lead will probably be coming out here shortly. You have the Unacceptable Racing guys, and it looks like Gary Whitson and Brian Yatzik from Whitson Motorsports look like they were the best of the Whitson guys that came in for that pit stop. Now they're in a group, as we see a lot of the other Whitson guys hanging a few seconds back trying to get reorganized here. So that's definitely going to play. They've definitely picked up a little bit of speed since they picked up those other two drivers there. So will it be enough, and how will they come out in relation to the rest of these guys, as we have a whole gaggle of cars right here with these what was trucks that had fallen off of the draft earlier in the race.
Absolutely, and this is the last thing that this pack really needs. They really need to be trying to run single file as much as possible, because that was the way they were making speed a little while ago. And right now, not only do they have to worry about losing speed here, they've got to worry about not wrecking. Look, you've got the two championship contenders right in the middle there. On the low side is...
Oh, but we have a spin.
Fortunately, just a single truck incident.
Did not see who that was. It looked like it was Todd Guerin in the 54 truck.
We'll catch a replay of it here, but yeah, the championship contenders, you see that there, Tommy Ryan in the 16 on the high side and Gary Whitson in the 13 on the low side. Their hearts may have skipped a beat right there when they saw that happen, but fortunately Todd Guerin spins off in the infield. He'll have to pit for repairs, but that damage looks repairable. Yeah,
and you have those guys there that they're just in a they're in a hurry. They don't want to be wasting that time racing and trying to deal with these other guys. They're on a strategy, and it looks like this race is going to be staying green here. So you cannot be giving up any time to those leaders, and so you're trying to get around the other cars as quickly as possible, and then sometimes we just see contact happen. So we should be seeing some cars coming in here in the next couple laps. Right now, your leader still is Ty Hester in the 68 truck. We have Justin Fuller outside of him in the 51 Toyota, and then we have a battle for third and fourth with Jim Foose and Nick Cohan, and then looks like we have Alec Marshall and Tanner Sharp right outside of them, rounding out your top 7 right now. And then back to your 8th place driver, we have Jesse Fowler all the way 41 seconds back. Again, he has come in for that pit stop already, and he has the rest of his pit stop buddies there with him. So let's see how well that they're able to come back up here when these guys do need to come in and pit here in the next couple laps.
All of a sudden, this has turned into a very green flag field race, and we only have 17 laps left to go. And once the leaders pit, they're not gonna have a whole lot of time to regroup and fight it out for the lead. But you can be sure they'll do that, and then they might be racing to just 5 to go, considering that there are no green-white checkers in iRacing.
Yeah, you need to play this strategy out too. It's really difficult with the way that they run things because. That race, you don't know if it's ending with 5 laps to go, 4, 3, anywhere in that last lap. So if you're waiting for that last lap to make that move, which is probably the ideal situation, you still also run that chance of a yellow coming out, and then there you are second or third, wishing that you could have made that move. So it's definitely adds another dimension of strategy to it, is when do you make that move.
Now we're back to watching the leaders come down the back stretch here, and a couple of them are over the radio. That might not necessarily mean they're coming into the pits this time by, but they are coming around to the completion of lap 32, 15 laps to go. Let's see if Hester leads any of them in, and you can be sure that when they do pit, they'll probably all pit together, and so when they do pit, James, you'll probably actually see them all space themselves out, give each other room, heading down into pit road just to make sure they don't run into each other.
Yeah, and as it looks like Justin Fuller, your 2nd place driver, he has made his intentions clear. He is coming into pit. Jim Foose in the 2 truck, he is coming into pit as well. And looks like this top group, they are coming in to pit this time around. And as you're saying, Samuel, they will try and stagger their entry. They've talked about this, so they will try and have 1 car high, 1 car low, and try and give each other a little bit of room, give them that extra little bit of wiggle room, and then get it all sorted out once they get to pit road. But this is going to be interesting. Where are these guys going to come out in relation to those that have already pitted? Which strategy is going to wind up prevailing here, as we'll see.
They all fan out. Fuller coming in a little bit hotter than Hester, who almost loses it on the rear braking. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple of trucks with speeding penalties here. Now let's all check. Will any of them overshoot their pit stalls? They all look good so far.
It's funny, all the independent teams had a smoother pit stop than the teams did. But fantastic save there by Ty Hester. It is really difficult to go from 200 miles an hour all the way back down. It looks like Justin Fuller is going to be your first one off of pit road here. He does not have any help though. These guys are not as organized coming off, and let's see where that's going to put them with these guys that have already pitted.
Tanner Sharp, the yellow flag goes out because Tanner Sharp skidded up onto the track. He lit the tyres up when he was coming out of pit road and basically turned dead right, stopped in the middle of the track, and I think that's the reason that the yellow flew. And that is great news for Alec Marshall, because he was one driver who overshot his pit stall during that round of stops.
Man, and that is so easy to do here at these restrictor plate tracks, because you're coming down and you're on hot tires. You're not wasting time changing tires on these pit stops. You're coming in, you're taking fuel only, and you're trying to get back out there because these tires do not wear. But They're hot, they're slick, and you're down there in the apron with all of those marbles. It is so easy to get that tire spin, and that's just what we saw there with Tanner. Thankfully that the pack had not gotten up to him yet, otherwise we would have seen a very massive incident, but thankfully he just spun up onto the racetrack, was able to save that contact, and no harm, no foul, but this will bunch everyone up. Strategy is completely out the window again.
Now, we shouldn't expect to see anyone pit in. Everyone should have the fuel and the tyres to go. However, it is going to be a very jumbled up restart when we get to it. I'm not even sure the drivers know what positions they're in, but it looks like Fuller will be leading them to the restart, and we will be back for it momentarily. We will have about an 8-lap shootout here at Talladega Superspeedway. Plenty of time for some more action to happen.
Friction is heat. You know, you take an engine where the lifter goes up and down, pushes the valve up and down, it really gets hot right there. That's where oil breaks down and where we have failures. AMSOIL, on the other hand, it's a true synthetic lubricant. It's just idling right there. It doesn't even know it's being used. In other words, 300 degrees is ho hum to AMSOIL.
Hello and welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway, where we are getting ready for an 11-lap shootout here. The pace car lights are still on. Justin Fuller will lead the field back to green. He is sitting 14th there in the points, looking to try and get 13th, the highest of the non-chase drivers. Nick Cohan has been running up front all night long. He is there in second. Brandon Jones and Jim Fuso in third and fourth. They have certainly been beneficiaries of a way that the racing and this caution has played out. Tanner Sharp also, remember, he actually had he was the one who brought the caution out. That's right, he slid coming out of pit road, but he's able to retain his position and he will restart in 5th. Jesse Fowler will be there in 6th position. He's been up front all night, as has Joshua King in 7th, even though we haven't mentioned him a whole lot. Tommy Ryan, meanwhile, has been running around the middle of the field there. He's one of our championship contenders, sitting in 8th place right now. Bryce Whitson also been running in the middle. He is currently in 9th place. And then Ricky Hardin, who I don't think we've mentioned at all tonight, rounds out the top 10. With oil temperatures reaching 300 to 400 degrees, would you trust some off-the-shelf oil? Step Up AMSOIL, 100% synthetic oil from Adam Bladel. Direct shipping across the 48 contiguous United States, and the best prices you will find. Support Americans, support a fellow racer, and buy your next oil change from Adam Bladel. And that is our top 10 ASRS AMSOIL up to speed segment, and we are getting ready for a thrilling final few laps here, James.
That's true, and I do want to make a correction earlier. The actual, the actual program that Whitson Motorsports is donating to is the Young Survival Coalition. To get that a little bit more specific there, and how they're doing that is $10 will be done for each Whitson Motorsports driver finishes in the top 10, $15 per top 5, and $20 per win. And again, last night they were able to raise $45 for that. So let's hope that they're able to raise a lot of money here tonight.
Let's hope so. Meanwhile though, Justin Fuller in the Toyota Tundra on the low line. He might be trying to stop them from winning for all the right reasons, honestly. And Nick Cohan will be lined up alongside him also in the Toyota Tundra there. The number 21 on the high side. Once again, Fuller can't pick what line he restarts from, which has actually helped him win races in the past. As the Ford Mustang pace car comes into the pits, we are going to have 9 laps left to go. Fuller has control of the field and the green flag should fly right when they're in the middle of a tri-oval, which is right now. Green is out, Fuller is on the low pedal, and he is leading the field back to the lead.
Man, that outside line did not get a good start on that restart, but I'm starting to see some teams start to develop here. I'm starting to see some guys lined up, but Justin Fuller is one of those guys on these restrictor plate tracks where he's very cutting. He can find the way to stay up there and work with whoever he needs to. And even though, that was very close there. But Fuller's one of those guys that he can make it happen on his own. He knows how to find people to work with, and so let's see if he's able to stay up there and get this win and shut these teams out tonight. As we had Jeffrey Gilliam able to, wow, fantastic save there in the apron. That is not easy to do.
It has been dicey, 3 wide all the way down the backstretch. These guys are racing for the win, and why not? Because there's only 8 laps to go here, and Joshua King's going to actually lead them back to the line. He's gotten himself in front of Justin Fuller. Tanner Sharp leading the low line, almost gets clipped by Bryce Whitson. That would have been no clip, would have turned him right in the middle of the field. 3 wide, Jesse Fowler on the high side, Justin Fuller in the middle, Joshua King, and this is for the lead. And right in the centre of it, I think Michael Krobach was a couple of laps down, but he was actually mixing it up with them, or maybe it was a truck that was just painted a lot like his. But I can't believe they all got through the last lap cleanly.
Wow, Joshua King restarted in 7th. 7th through the lead in 1 lap. That was fantastic. But now look who's there. Jesse Fowler just got pushed to the lead, but we're going to have your championship leader who's going to be taking the lead right now. As Jesse Fowler is going to get loose. We have an accident behind Bryce Whitson, Joshua King, Tanner Sharp. They're around. Let's see if it's going to bring out a yellow. I think Bryce is stopping here. He's backwards on the front straightaway. Gap where, as he gets hit late.
Mark Allen Goes up on 2 wheels as he hits the inside wall. And Bryce Whitson is smoking, so if he had any shot left of winning the championship, it just went there, because he is one of the chase drivers. Although granted, he was sitting 62 points back and just a bit of contact there in the middle. That's all it took. They were racing so hard, one could almost say it was inevitable. Meanwhile, the other championship contender there, Gary Whitson, was able to get through all that, and he will be restarting in the top 10 when we go back under green.
Man, and unfortunate there. You have Joshua King trying to go up and help his teammate there. Just gave him a little too much of a bump there and sent him around. And all that Joshua King can really say there is, my bad. Sorry for taking you out there, buddy. But that just got Jesse Fowler a little upset there. And that collected Bryce Whitson. And then we saw, everyone in kind of pile in after that.
Yeah, we're going to get a couple of replays here. You can see that Dicey was getting out of turn 4 already. Ty Hester having to take it to the apron to avoid contact there with Tanner Sharp. And then, let's see, what kind of view does Ty get here? Lots of trucks going off into the apron. No, it cleared the way for him. There we go. He's got plenty of road to get it up to 88 miles an hour.
Parting the Red Sea there, Ty Hester was able to slide through there. Fantastic job there by his part, and really just kind of opened up, and luckily right place at the right time, and we see him right now still there in 8th place, so still has a chance for a great finish here today.
Yeah, and all these drivers, and this is good news for Gary Whitson and Tommy Ryan, a lot of drivers have had trouble tonight. We're going to have a great race to the end, there's no doubt about that, because as soon as the green drops, the caution flag is going to end it because of the way iRacing works, so they're all going to be racing for the win when the green flag goes back out. And Tommy Ryan and Gary Whitson, if they get involved in an incident, I don't think they're going to fall back any further than 20th or so now, because we've only got 16 trucks on the lead lap, and it looks like half of the drivers here have packed up and headed it to the garage as a result of incident damage. So, that means that when we go to Lucas Oil Raceway in 1 week, we should hopefully still have a tight championship fight between Ryan and Whitson, who came into this race just 7 points apart. Ryan to the good there.
Speaking of Lucas Oil Raceway, it looks like these trucks have been racing at Lucas Oil Raceway tonight. Man, there's a lot of beat-up trucks out there. But sometimes that's what Talladega kind of turns into. But right now, Tommy Ryan is really liking what he's seeing. He's up there in the lead right now. But the bad part about him is that he does not see any of his unacceptable racing teammates there behind him. But I do see a couple of Dizzy Motorsports guys up there. And you do see a couple of Whitson guys up there as well. So, is it too late for them to try and go up there and make something happen there late in the race? But we do have a lot of those independent guys, and I know that Justin Fuller is not a guy that's going to want to stick around and try and help. Is going to be content pushing Tommy to the victory here. So. It'll be very interesting of who's going to be your friend, who's going to be your foe, who's going to want to get that win. And right now, I'm not guessing there's a lot of friends out there.
A reminder that the drivers who have the red spoiler, the red splitter and the red banner across their windshield, those are the drivers who are in the chase. You can see that on Tommy Ryan's number 16 truck here leading the field around. Now the pace lights do not go off, although I have a feeling they're going to go off next time by, and if they do, we will have a 2-lap shootout to end it. Now, how that works is if a caution flag flies before they get back to the white flag, that will end the race. There's no green-white checkers in iRacing, but if there's a crash, it could wipe out the entire field on the last lap. iRacing does not show caution flags on the final lap, so as soon as they take the white, they would be racing back to the checkered flag.
Yeah, and so that's going to make it again interesting. Going back to that strategy earlier, do you wait for that last lap to try and make the ideal move to where that guy cannot make another move back on you on that last lap? Or do you go ahead and make it now and hope that that yellow does come out soon and then lock up the victory that way? So a lot of strategies, and one's not necessarily right, one's not necessarily wrong. It's just hope that you pick right and hope that you make it at the right time.
The ASRS have done a good job this year, James, of keeping tabs on all the statistics of drivers. And one that stands out is Tommy Ryan has only scored 24 incident points throughout the whole season. Now, I have the top 14 in points in my hand here. The driver closest to his 24 in the top 14 in points is, I think it's Michael Krobach with 46 incident points. That's almost double the amount of incident points that Tommy Ryan has got. And the concluding point there is Ryan is a very clean racer, and he is racing for a championship. Do you have a feeling that when the green flag flies, he is just going to stick to that yellow line? He's not going to do any aggressive blocks. He's going to say, hey, even if I don't come home with a win, this is going to be a good points day to me? Or do you think he is going to do something anti-Tommy Ryan-ish and swerve through a couple of lanes and try and make sure he picks up a W tonight?
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Tommy Ryan is that he has probably the most respect out of anyone in this garage area. Everyone knows how Tommy races. They know that he's going to race you fair, he's going to race you clean, and so that being said, also, he's also a very thirsty driver. He wants to win this race just as badly as anyone else here, and he will do whatever he can to try and do that. So while he will probably gloat here to the yellow line, he's not going to be afraid to get up there and run you tight. And he knows Justin Fuller. He knows that he can run right up there next to him and how much room he can give him, which honestly probably isn't a lot, and both those drivers are going to be happy with that. He's going to try and side draft Fuller or whoever's next to him as much as he can, and he's going to try and win this to the best of his ability. But you know that Tommy's not going to take anyone out in the process, at least not on purpose.
Okay, so what kind of teams do we see up front here? Because we've got Tommy Ryan and Nick Cohan leading the field back to green on the low side, and on the high side there we have Brandon Jones as the second truck in line behind Justin Fuller.
Well, I see a lot of independent. I see a couple of Whitson guys there in the top 10. I see a couple of Busy guys there in the top 10. But we have to go all the way back to 10th before Tommy can find any friends back there. So Tommy's going to be on his own, and he's going to have to do the best that he can as the Ford Mustang pace car is off. Let's see what we have here. As we have 2 laps to go, green, white, checkered.
Absolutely, and they're back on the loud pedal right now, and remember, if a caution comes out before they get to the white, that will end it. If they make it to the white, they are racing to the checkers. Tommy Ryan leads the field back to the green with Justin Fuller on his high side as they race down, drag race into the first corner.
Tell you what, that outside line did not get going there behind Justin Fuller, as he's not going to have anyone there to work with him here on the outside. As now he's dropping back and fighting for second there on the outside, but will help come soon enough for him. Again, Justin's good at that side. Oh, we have that accident. Oh, and there they go around. Give that win to Tommy Ryan.
That does throw the caution flag out. And
oh, Gary Whitson's involved.
Oh, and that's even better news for him, and that is the big one.
Wow.
Now, Tommy's still got to make it to the checkered flag, but he shouldn't have any problem in doing so. Unfortunately, a few of these drivers find them if their engines are banned up, they might not be able to say the same.
Man, just looked like guys trying to side draft there, making some contact, upsetting the trucks, and then everyone kind of piles in behind. And Gary was able to keep it straight, even though he had people bouncing off of him, but then just got turned there at the very end. Going to be a disastrous day there for Gary Whitson. Really didn't do anything wrong there, but he's going to pay the sacrifice as his closest competition in the points is going to walk away with the victory today. Huge heartbreak there for Gary.
Gary, let's not forget, was runner-up in the championship last season, so he certainly isn't going to want to do that again. And it was Ryan who came in with a 7-point advantage, so he is certainly going to extend that going into Lucas Oil Raceway next weekend, to which next Wednesday rather, which honestly is another crapshoot in itself. Tommy has caught the pace car here, and he should come across the start-finish line momentarily to take a win here at Talladega, and that will be his 4th win of the season, his 16th top 10 out of 20 races. And here he comes through the tri-oval, and now Tommy Ryan is just a few yards away from being the winner here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Fuller and Hester will follow behind him. Tommy Ryan wins here at Talladega Superspeedway.
And as you can see, not a scratch on that truck. He is there, well, as Justin Fuller and Ricky Hardner are going to go up here and give him a couple scratches now. But that truck was clean, and again, talking only 24 incidents this season. Tommy Ryan is a guy that knows how to keep the truck clean, and that's why we see him in victory lane so often and leading these points.
And it looks like Gary Whitson will come home with a 12th place finish. So that will be about 20 points back of Tommy Ryan going into the next round. And no one's going to close up on Tommy, so Gary will still be second in the points. But yeah, he's certainly going to have his work cut out from him. And after 16 top 10s out of 21 races, I don't think you can really count on Tommy having a bad round, but it still could happen.
Oh, it very well could happen, you know. Definitely do not count Gary out of this championship yet, but right now there has not been any chink in the armor of that 16 Northern Tools Silverado, but we still have a couple races here to go, and as you alluded to, Lucas Oil is a tough racetrack, so we'll see how that works out next week, as Tommy's going to come up here and he's going to do a little bit of celebrating here for us.
We will get to speak to him after the celebration. Stay tuned for full race rundown, full order rundown and drive interviews here on the GSRC. Hello and welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway, where Tommy Ryan has just picked off his 4th win of the 2015 ASRS AMSOIL Truck Series Championship. Granted, it came under caution, but he did a very good job at holding off the rest of the field. The first of the hard chargers behind him was Justin Fuller in 2nd place. Ty Hester was in 3rd, and then behind him was Ricky Hardin and Jim Foose rounding out the top 5. Jesse Fowler and Troy Haight were in 6th and 7th. Alex Bates was in 8th, and then Brian Yatzik and Alec Marshall rounded out the top 10, James.
That's right, and then we have Brandon Jones coming in 11th. Gary Whitson, who took a big hit in the points today, will come in 12th. Jeffrey Gilliam will be in 13th. Joshua King in 14th. Nick Cohan, who was involved in that last accident there, will be coming home in 15th. Austin Missler in 16th. Norman Pelletier in 17th. Michael Krobach, last race's winner at Vegas, and comes home in 18th today. Bryce Whitson in 19th, and Tanner Sharp will round out your top 20.
By now, all these drivers having issues tonight. Mark Allen in 21st, Jody Green 22nd, Keith Jolly 23rd, Adam Jersky 24th, Todd Garron 25th, Benny Ellison 26th, Jonathan Cadell 27th, Aaron Cleanhans 28th, Jeff Ryan 29th, and DJ Beverly in 30th. Behind them were Paul Sitter, EJ O'Rourke, Dan Murray in 32nd, and Pierre-Luc Moreau were all involved in early incidents, and Carson Orbe did not start the race. Well, we have got our top 3 finishers here for us to talk to, so let's go down on pit road where James Kahula has caught up with 3rd place finisher Ty Hester. James.
Ty Hester, you were involved in a lot of interesting moments there. We rode on board with you before thinking, how did he get through there? But you come home in the 3rd place finish tonight. How do you feel, buddy?
Well, I can tell you I had to change my underwear twice. Just like you said, that was luck. Normally when that happens, I'm always in it. But I had, someone riding with me, if you want to say that. It was the best super speedway race I've ever had.
Yeah, and it shows as you come here with a podium. But yeah, man, I can't believe some of those, how close you were to being involved in some of those tonight, but you're able to just slide around there. So, and how you're able to do those fast pit stops and stay up there in the lead and get those changes of underwear in. Very impressive with you tonight, sir. But, man, you've had a great run so far. This should move you up a little bit higher in the point standings, too. We head to Lucas Oil Raceway next week. How do you feel for the rest of the season?
Well, it's good to, after taking a week's hiatus off, hopefully this 3rd is good for it carries over to next week. But yeah, I was so happy to work with the 51 and the 91 there up front, and I thank both of them for helping out, staying with me, because who wants to work with me? But it was good. So yeah, thanks for. Hopefully, I got a lot of TV time.
Yes, you definitely got a lot of TV time, and a lot of carnage also involved with that. But thankfully, not to that '68 Toyota tonight. But yeah, we do head to the Lucas Oil Raceway next week. How do you feel at that racetrack? I know that you have run really well in the short tracks this year. Do you think that this could be that elusive first win for the '68 this year?
I sure hope so. I've always done good in the super late models. So hopefully, going back to something shorter will work out a little better as far as finishes. So I like to finish even if I don't get nowhere near the championship. I'd like to still finish the year off pretty strong.
Well, fantastic. Well, before we let you go here, do you have any final words before we get you packed up and off to Indianapolis next week?
I would like to thank my paying sponsor for next year, K7 Creations. I'd like to have a shout out to them. As owners Todd Kirkwood, and also thank Toyota, and that's it.
All right. Well, Ty Hester, thank you, and the K7 Creations Toyota. Fantastic run tonight. Don't make it so exciting on us next week out there at Lucas Oil Raceway, but a fantastic job avoiding the trouble tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. It can't be boring. Have a good night, guys.
So that was our third place finisher, Ty Hester. Now we're going to talk to our second place finisher, and that is Justin Fuller, who wasn't able to bring back a goal today despite running at the front of the field. Do you think if it had stayed green, you would have been able to get by Tommy there?
It all depends on how the push would have went. Nobody was really lined up behind me. Never know though. Someone might have jumped up behind me, but not too many people wanted to work with me tonight. So, second place was pretty solid effort. Having qualified third, starting the rear, worked my way to the field, kept it clean, and definitely take a second place out of that.
Now we noticed you have silently crept your way up to 14th in the points despite only 11 starts prior to this round. You might be 13th now, ahead of Tanner Sharp. I know he was involved in a couple of incidents today. Has that been your goal, to try and be the top non-chase driver in the points at the end of the season?
I don't know if it's really a goal. Just trying to do my best. I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't even realize that I was that close, to be honest with you. So I'm pretty happy about that, I guess. We'll see. Maybe we can come out with 13th in points anyway.
What did you think of the racing up there tonight? Because we noticed you had to work your way up through the field there a couple of points. A lot of tandeming, but a lot of pack racing out there too.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun coming from the rear. I mean, I was working the outside line with a couple of people. We got up with some lap cars, and they really checked us up hard. It was interesting, to say the least. And then once we got them lap cars, dropped all the way back to the back again, had to come back to the front. And pit strategy worked out pretty good, and the caution timing was really good. I came out, had a huge lead, because I pitted under the first two cautions, topped off with fuel, and I really surprised nobody else did that. I could have almost gone with like 5 laps to go to pit, but I guess it all worked out in the end.
Absolutely, it did. You were one spot away from the from victory lane there. Do you think you can get that spot at Lucas Oil Raceway next week?
I'm pretty excited about that race, I'll tell you that. That track is awesome. We'll see. I haven't run a whole lot of laps there since I came out on the service on iRacing, but the laps that I have run, I'm very impressed with the track. I have not run it since the new dynamic track, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm extremely excited about it. Hopefully I'll be able to make that race, and I look forward to it.
Well, we hope to see you there too. Thanks for coming to talk to us, Justin, and we'll let you go celebrate and get ready for Lucas Oil.
Yes, thank you. I want to thank you guys in the booth. AMSOIL, American Sim Racing, Jim Foose, and all the guys that put this together. Nasty North Sticker Company, Ada Sign Wraps. Everybody in the race, everybody watching. It was a good time. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So that was our second place finisher, Justin Fuller. Let's go down to Victory Lane, where James Kahula is called up with the race winner, Tommy Ryan. James.
Tommy Ryan, towards the end there, you did not have a whole lot of friends around you, yet you still were able to come out with a victory. All those races in the KMA series have really been paying off, and you come home in Victory Lane here today at Talladega Superspeedway. How do you feel there, buddy?
Man, I'm telling you, I was really surprised. Me and Jesse were working there at the end, and I was kind of mirror driving with Justin there, and I was not really, believe it or not really paying attention to my windshield, and before I knew it, I was already moving to the outside of Jesse. But man, the wind feels awesome. You know, to come out of Talladega with a freaking wind and not a tore up race truck. You know, it's it's a win-win, man, for sure.
Yeah, and I know that you're a big fan of these super speedway races, and you definitely got there with the help of your friends. But I mean, run us through those that last lap there when you have a whole bunch of guys that would love to take that win away from you, and the closest help you had was back there in 10th place. What was your strategy going in to try and hold them off? And obviously it worked out well with the way that the caution fell there at the end. But yeah, what was the plan to try and stay up there?
Well, you know, this plate race is a lot different than mile and a half or short tracks and stuff. So you don't want to get a real good jump on the field because, I mean, they can come right back at you at a head of steam and they can just blow by you with no issues at all. So I was kind of pedaling a little bit to let Nick know that I was going at that point, and he finally got to me, but he was door to door with Fuller. And I was kind of just waiting to see if Fuller was going to start nosing out, and if he was, I was just going to pull up high. But honestly, I knew the bottom was not where you need to be, especially if the thing got really going. You at least had to be in the middle lane, if not the top. And I was just going to try to go where the momentum was, and hopefully I could just hold them off. But I was thinking that the field's not going to get out of 2 without a big melee, which ended up happening, unfortunately. But that's plate racing. My teammate Ricky Harden's the best at accident avoidance, and my best chance as it is to be leading the race and not be in it. So it was fun, man.
Now, Gary was involved in that last accident that sealed the victory for you, so a big point stay for you. Now we do have Lucas Oil Raceway, Phoenix International Raceway, Texas, and Homestead to finish out the year. We saw just 4 races left. How do you feel with those racetracks? And I know that you definitely can't be breathing easy yet, but knowing that Gary just isn't right there has to ease you up just a tiny little bit heading into those last few.
Oh yeah, it's. To be honest with you, I'm just glad Gary's around to race me. There was some drama last week, and really just didn't know if he was going to be able to show up at the racetrack. And I was glad to see him. It kind of sucks he got caught up in that. But there's still a long way to go. Anything can happen. You miss your freaking pit stall or have some bad luck, get behind some weapons, and you get taken out, and he's right back in it. So can't breathe too easy yet, but it's still going to be a hard fought battle. I think. I just wish there was more in the battle.
Well, Tommy, we know you don't have a whole lot of time here before you have to jump right back into the Northern Tools Dallara for the Lionheart IndyCar Series here next on GSRC. So we'll go ahead and let you go. But any final thoughts before we let you head over there?
No, just a shout out to my sponsors, man. Northern Tool, Black Friday's coming up. So make sure you guys check out the website. Always, of course, the Unacceptable Facebook page. We've always got some cool stuff going on over there, so make sure you guys hit that page. And that's about it, man. I'm going to have some Crown and Coke after this win, and then we're going to pack it up and head to Indy.
All right. Well, Tommy Ryan, your winner here today at Talladega, adds a little bit of cushion to his point lead. So we'll see how this goes out here for these next 4 races. Still an interesting points championship, though, Samuel.
Absolutely. So that was our race winner tonight and championship leader Tommy Ryan, who has gone off to celebrate with Crown and Cola, and who can blame him? And let's wrap up this broadcast so we can do the same, actually. We would like to thank the organisers and the competitors in the ASRS AMSOIL Truck Series for coming here tonight and putting on a great show. We would also like to thank the makers of the various software and hardware that help make this stream possible: iRacing.com, Behringer, XSplit, Audio Technica, and Ava Media. Thanks to the team today: James Kahula, Joe Peak, and our camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. I'm also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. We would like to send a special thank you to Eric Coleman and Casey Lalonde, who provide us with much of our music. You can buy Eric's music on iTunes and Spotify, and Casey's at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. We have all of our upcoming races for our other series on screen, so be sure to check those out and mark them down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. And we will be back with the ASRS AMSOIL Truck Series next week at Lucas Oil Raceway. So until then, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.